Yo, welcome to No Life Gaming Show. Today is episode 13 on the No Life Gaming Podcast. Check out our... I always get the wrong direction. I have to remember it's the opposite side. Check out our Twitter, at No Life's Gaming. Follow us for updates and more. I'm thinking about starting up an Instagram, and I'm thinking maybe use that Instagram instead of the Twitter. I'm not sure yet. And then check out our Twitch, /no_lives, /no_lives. Just follow us there. Stay updated. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. If you like the video, please leave a like. It helps with aggregation and getting our videos pushed up a little higher and getting them noticed. And today we got a pretty good show for you guys today. We're going to be introducing a new segment into the show. Sort of new, just kind of maybe separating something out a little bit. And tons of news. And then two deep topics that I do want to get to. So we'll see. We'll see what we might have to sacrifice to get there to stay on time. I'm gonna try my best to make sure this show doesn't go 2 hours again like it did last week. Kind of want to keep the show at an hour and a half or an hour, somewhere in between there. Just because 2-hour shows are kind of hard to listen to. I listen to a lot of podcasts. 2 hours is kind of rough, but I don't know. Anyways, let's bring the dudes on. What's up, dudes? Hop up in here. Say what's up, everyone.
What up, Bree? What up?
Mangy.
How's it going? Going well? Yeah.
What up, what up?
You guys been up to? Anything
Nothing
fun?
much, man. Just working and reading a lot.
What are you reading?
Shindo's making me read this trilogy called Red Rising. It's okay. I'm on the third book. It's not too bad. It's kind of like sci-fi Hunger Game type book. You know what I mean? But it's a bit darker, a bit more violent. Which, yeah, like I said, I'm on the last little leg of the trilogy, so I'm almost done with it. And then I'm going back to Stormlight Archive.
Do you read a lot of books?
Yeah, I read quite a bit. I look like I read a lot, don't I?
I read a lot too, but I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I've been meaning to get into more nonfiction. They say I don't read a lot of fiction.
Yeah.
And they say that reading fiction is really good for being creative and good for your brain, as opposed to nonfiction, surprisingly. So I've been trying to read more fiction, but I'm super into like biographies and like nerdy shit like that.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. I do like nonfiction every once in a while, but I prefer just like fantasy, just straight up fantasy, like, you know, Tolkien type fantasy.
Yeah.
With magic and elves and all that shit. I look like that type, don't I? I know I do.
I'm trying to get into that stuff because I like that shit too.
Nerds.
But those books are quite difficult to like get into if you're not familiar with those type of books.
Yeah, because like
Warcraft orcs are best.
It's like reading a Bible. It like reminds you of the Bible. It's like this whole just like, where are we? What's going on? There's fucking crazy shit happening.
That's a whole nother story. That's a whole different story arc. That's
a whole nother form of nonfiction, or
I was gonna say
fiction rather.
There seems to be quite a few fantasy stories that seem to be based around, say, the Bible.
Well, most of them,
like
right?
the Chronicles of Narnia. Is that what you're about to get into, or
that? Like even WoW has its moments. Like Lord of the Rings has its moments. There's like quite a few that have
very Christ-like tropes going on.
I highly recommend
being in fantasy novels.
I highly recommend that if you haven't read the Bible, read the Bible because it is a good book. It's not, even if you're not religious, it's a good book. There's good stories in there. It gets a little fucking weird when they talk about like
professor in college. His recommendation, this guy is like an outspoken atheist, was, in my new English degree, read the Bible because there's so many references in modern literature and everything you can think of. Just read the King James Bible. You'll understand a lot of stuff that happens in literature, and it's just a good read.
Yeah, it's a good read. It's just a good read.
My dude.
You can take what you want out of it, my guy.
I'm just saying, I grew up in the South, so I'm not reading the Bible anymore. I've read it enough. I've read it enough for my liking.
Let me fix this really quick.
Now you just got to read it, the Narnia version.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, man, if you want to get into fantasy, later in news we have some news about the Mistborn RPG. You might want to try that trilogy of books, the original trilogy. It's really good. The Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson.
I could do that. I was looking into maybe like some Tolkien, getting into some Tolkien.
Well, I mean, have you read Lord of the Rings?
No.
Read it.
That's what
read The Hobbit, then read Lord of the Rings. There you go.
That's
like a good intro.
Standard,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if you want to get into fantasy, I suggest you. I mean, it's kind of older now, but I mean, it's classic, so
yeah.
I would read it.
Yeah, I'm reading. Well, I just finished Devil's Bargain, which is like a political nonfiction about Steve Bannon. So I read shit like that some people might find boring, but some of it's interesting and riveting. Like I like Tom Clancy. That might be a little. I mean, I guess that's fiction, but I don't read.
Yes,
it's fiction.
Quite fiction.
I don't read it like. That's about as fiction as I've gotten.
I gotcha.
That's kind of based on
fiction, but in the realistic type world setting.
Political.
Read Dark Tower.
Oh yeah.
Anything by Stephen King, but Dark Tower.
Didn't Dark Tower get like a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes?
It's not a good movie. It really, like, I've heard some arguments. It kind of deserves that Netflix Game of Thrones treatment. It would be better in that medium than.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a fucking 7-series epic series. Like they're and it's Stephen King, so each book besides the first one. The first book is like 200-300 pages. It's really not that long. But every book after that, like 800 pages easily. 800 pages to 1,000 every single book.
That's Stephen King, all right.
But they're so good.
Yeah, they are up until the ending. But yeah.
No, 2-hour movie, dude. All that 2-hour movie.
I would love to do like more movie stuff on here, like how like Nerdist talks a lot about movies and stuff. But I don't go to the movies as often as I used to. It's been a long time.
I still haven't seen Wonder Woman or Spider-Man yet. I'm like really disappointed with myself.
I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen Dunkirk. I hear Dunkirk's amazing. I haven't been to the movies in forever, man.
I mean, we can just talk about the Emoji Movie.
Oh, true. The end of all movies.
I don't go to the theater.
Yeah.
Really anymore.
It's it's such an inconvenience. It's like you have Netflix. Netflix is the best. They should just start taking movies out on Netflix. I would pay $20 to watch a movie that just comes out on Netflix, and I'm sure many other people will. Like Dunkirk, it gets high reviews. It's something I really want to see. I just don't want to go to the fucking movies to watch it. I want to watch it at home.
I mean, game stores are dying. It's kind of a matter of. This is why like all the movie theaters now are like putting so much into like reclinable seating, having the RPX or like that IMAX experience. It's just nobody sees a movie in regular, like it's either 3D or IMAX, and even then you're dropping like $30 after popcorn, soda. Like it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about 3D.
I know.
I really don't care about 3D. I'm being completely honest. I really do not care.
It's about the Dolby sound. That's it.
Yeah, and the big screen's nice too.
It's the screen, and for me, a lot of it, if I do go to the theaters for something I want to see, it's entirely for the sound.
Yeah.
I can't physically put, 12 gigantic monitors in my room. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and then again, though,
complex be okay with that.
Then again, though, if you get like a good pair of headphones and you just put your iPad or your phone like right up to your face, it's like being at the movie theaters, except you don't fucking spend any money. So
then your
my
feet,
HTC Vive and a nice pair of headphones, and there we go.
Have you done that?
Your shoes aren't sticking to the floor. So,
dude, I'm telling you right now, VR.
I mean,
I've watching movies in VR. It's awesome. It feels like you're there. For some reason, like the way that the depth of the field works.
It tricks your brain. Yeah. It tricks your brain.
It's fucking crazy. And I would be interested in like watching movies like that for sure. For sure. It just sucks.
We know about you and your VR porn. It's okay.
For sure. VR porn is fucking amazing. But
I mean,
that's like the first thing anyone does when they get a VR headset. Is just like,
it would probably be the first thing and last thing I did with a VR headset. The thing I did in the middle. So basically, that'd be all I did with the VR headset.
It's not as good as you'd think it is. Like it's not there yet, but it can quickly get there. It can quickly get there, and
I've watched like they had some kind of like documentary type thing on it, or not really documentary, but like the differences in how they make it, and it's like they basically have to put this like huge rig on the dude's head, and he has just like lean back, just sit there. Can you imagine like he's like trying to get ready for a porn shoot when you're just like lean back like a fucking mummy?
Camera octopus is just on top of you. Yeah. It's gotta be like, difficult.
The women actresses or whatever, the porn stars, they have to like pose like odd and weird, like lean back and shit. So the camera doesn't look awkward and everybody doesn't look like 300-foot tall monster Amazon women.
And the good ones right now, like high quality ones, you have to pay for it because you can't just like there's no Pornhub or anything. You can't just go online and start looking at it. Like you have to have good high quality. So I think porn is gonna move there because that's a way that they can finally make some money because that industry is just tapped out.
Who pays for porn anymore? So.
It is tapped out. So they're like, all right, we can make money in this way. People don't mind paying for it because it's fucking VR porn, and it'll get there. I think it'll get to the
VR remake of Deep Throat.
There's a VR remake for anything, man. But the movie theater VR, it is surprisingly good. It's just your VR goggles just aren't crisp. They're not as crisp as like a 1080p screen, unfortunately. So that technology needs to kind of... I don't understand why they're these Fresnel lenses. They're called like... That's just what these lenses are. They give off like a haze. There's like a haze over everything. And it really hurts sharpness. And I don't understand why that they have to do it like that. You figure it would just be like a nice like regular lens with a screen there that you can look at, but it's not. They have to make these like funky lenses that suck. They actually suck. So there's still some time to go. But I think it's needed because, like I said, not a lot of people go to the movies anymore. Netflix needs to get up on that. All right, let's move on to what we've been playing. I want to talk about a game that I've been really, really into, and that's Neo.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Neo at all?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't played it, but I know the ideas. It's like Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah. It's basically a complete ripoff of Dark Souls. Even down to like the point where you start off in the game and you start off like in a jail cell, just like Dark Souls 1. And so they take a lot, pretty much the entire gameplay is focused on Dark Souls. But what they do better, I think, is a more action-packed gameplay. And you can see the gameplay on the screen down below. You can see it's exactly like Dark Souls. The way you fight, the slow kind of like meticulous combat that you get into, the drops. You have souls. They're called like Amrita in the game. The story doesn't really. The story is no big deal. It's really just about trying to beat the game and just the difficulty of it. And the combat is just awesome, and that's why I've been so locked into it because you can get pretty good at it's one of those easy to learn, hard to master games. There's like 3 stances that you have. You have like a high stance, mid stance, low stance, and like you can have combos that affect all these different stances. And if you like perfectly knock off a good combo and switch your stance, you can completely fill your energy bar. So the fights become really a battle between like, do I wait for him to attack? Am I patient about this? Or do I just want to go crazy, just hack and slash this guy because I think I'm pretty good? Because like these kind of games, you get confident in your skills and you want to like just start ripping through these people because, you know, the way that the gameplay works is like you're constantly thrown back to the checkpoint, which are pretty far. And that's one criticism I have about the game. If you die and you're like 30 minutes, 45 minutes into a level and you have to start all the way over again, it is so demoralizing and it really hurts. And I think that like if they would have just like cut that down to like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, that would have made the game a little bit more forgiving. But I guess that's part of the charm in these kind of games, is just this unrelenting difficulty. I think this is far more difficult than Dark Souls. This game is fucking hard, and you really have to know your character. You have to know the stances and all the fucking different moves. Like you can put poisons and different things on your weapons to make them attack different. You have like a guardian spirit, which is like a superpower that you can use that you gain from effectively dodging and attacking. what else is there? Parrying. There's awesome like parrying rolls. There's a whole skill tree that you can use to like level your dude up. Right now, my guy uses the Kurigama, which is like this. It looks like a ball and chain, except instead of a ball, it's a fucking scythe on this huge chain, and that's a fun weapon. And then I'm using just a regular sword, and there's I think like 6 or 7 different types of weapons, and they all have like tons of gear everywhere. Constantly collecting gear. The loot system's awesome. And I'm just having so much fun with this game. It's just so difficult. It makes me so angry when I die. And I'm not good at, like I said, you're fucking 30. There was one time I was literally 45 minutes into a level about to hit that next checkpoint. I'm almost there. And you die because you suck. And because you made a stupid fucking mistake like trip over something, or you didn't parry and you attacked instead of parried, and you have to get thrown all the way back. And what this game makes you do is like you have to fight in certain parts. With Dark Souls, you can kind of run back into where you were and start from there. This game, you can't really do that. They set it up where it's like there's choke points where you have to attack some of these guys. And it's just so difficult, but it's a blast. And I highly recommend, if you have PlayStation 4, that you pick this up. If you like these kind of games, if you like Dark Souls, it's a great RPG. The story's weird. It's like, what was that movie with Tom Cruise and he was a samurai? Last Samurai?
The Last Samurai.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
The Last Samurai starring Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I was about to say there's only like 2 things I didn't like about Neo. One was actually the loot system. Because like if you're gearing up for PvP and stuff like that, it's kind of weird I mean, I guess it makes the game a little bit more grindy, where all the items have like random attributes to them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I found that a little bit weird. I didn't like that in the vein of like a Dark Souls type game. And then number 2 was the fucking like blatant whitewashing of the game. It's like, yeah, you're gonna play in this Dark Souls type, ancient Japanese,
except you're a white guy.
Except you're a white dude with blonde hair and blue eyes. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted to be like an actual samurai, not like this jackass. But yeah, it's a good game. I think it's harder. I think the combat is a little bit more fast paced. It's a lot more fast paced than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
That's mainly because it's made by Team Ninja. The people who made Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden Black, baby.
Yeah,
talking about a hard game.
That game is super difficult.
Yeah, so like the same team that made that, and then they've already been making fucking chop your dick off hard games. You know what I mean? With Ninja Gaiden Black, and then they're just like, hey, Dark Souls did this thing. I bet we can do that too. And then they're just more masochistic.
Yeah.
Than From Software, I believe.
Now, that's what I don't understand. It is so close to Dark Souls, like the way the camera moves, like everything about it is so close to Dark Souls, but it's not by the same team. It's a completely different developer. And I don't understand how they were able to create an engine so close to this other game. It's kind of sketchy, if you ask me. It's pretty.
Well, I mean,
close.
There was the Surge too.
The Surge was it felt a lot different. It resembled Dark Souls, but the combat was it just felt different. This is exactly Dark Souls with a samurai skin and a white dude as a protagonist.
Yeah.
It's crazy how close it is. But it's fun, and I don't care because I love Dark Souls. They can work that out in whatever legal battles if they so choose. But the game it's phenomenal so far. I think there's a lot of flaws. It's rated pretty well. A lot of people are enjoying this game. A lot of the critics have given it pretty high scores. PlayStation's given it like a 4.5. I think IGN's given it a 9. I don't know if it's up there for me right now because it's a blatant ripoff of Dark Souls, and I have to take points off for that. But I do like the gameplay, and I think it's fun. I think the story's lacking, and what helped me kind of get through those hard times in Dark Souls was like the story. The story was pretty good. There's a lot of lore, and there was like these weird characters in there. There's none of that in here. You get like this flying cat who's an asshole, and he speaks like Australian. The main dude's like Australian or something. It's super weird. The story's not that good, but it's the combat that kind of brings me back to it. I like games like this, so I'm gonna try to beat it and get a review out by this month. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, when I played it, I really didn't like the story because, like you said, there's a lot of interesting lore in Dark Souls, and in my opinion, Dark Souls just like, you know, just sits back and they're like, hey, you can play the game and you can never even try to look into anything. You can just go kill shit and just accept it, or you can look into the lore and try to find lore and, you know, try to find connections.
Yeah.
There's really like no story they're trying to ham fist down your fucking throat. But in Neo, that's what it is. There's like cutscenes and, you know, a bunch of story that I really don't care about anything about. So, you know.
The story's just unsubstantial. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like if they took the Dark Souls approach and had lore and let it be more like hand or step back, like you said, I think it would have served this game better. And I think if Dark Souls would have taken this approach and given you more cutscenes and more of a, you know, of a look at what's going on, because I don't know, I think the story could be a lot better than what it is. But you don't really play this game for the story, I guess, and people know that getting into it. Just if you like really difficult games and action games, this is a great RPG to get into. And other than that, I don't know so far. I still have to beat it. How long did it take you to beat it? Did you beat it?
Yeah, it didn't take me as long. That's the thing. That's the thing now. All right, since Demon Souls and Dark Souls came out and everybody started playing those games and playing them a lot and getting really good at them, that's the thing that I feel like no other Dark Souls games or Dark Souls type games will ever give you as much trouble ever again as the first one. Because the first Dark Soul gave me so much trouble.
Me too.
Like the first Dark Souls and Demon Souls, it took me so long to beat it for the first time.
It took me almost like 3 weeks to a month to beat. It was difficult.
Yeah, it was really fucking hard. But since then, I've beaten Dark Souls so many times, and I've beaten all the other Dark Souls games. Yeah. Like literally, I could speedrun the first Dark Souls. It's ridiculous. Or maybe not anymore because I haven't played it in over a year, but I can still beat it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, probably 15 hours took me to beat Neo. Not too long.
That's another thing about this game.
Maybe that long. Maybe not even that long, to be honest with you. I can't remember.
Another thing about this game that kind of sucks is like Dark Souls is like this huge interconnected world. This has like this weird like map system that you have to like they give you like a point and it's like this mission you have to do this, and you can go back to that point like 3 times. And then you go back out into like this menu maps. Like nothing's interconnected. The levels are interconnected within themselves, but they're small. They're not as big as this huge Dark Souls world. Like when you find your first awesome shortcut in Dark Souls, that's an awesome feeling. You don't have that in this game. So that's a hit too. But I'll see. I'm gonna try to beat it by this month. Not really rushing into it because I kind of am enjoying it, and I don't want to just like rip through this game. There's not many games out right now in August to play, so I'm chilling on this one. But yeah.
Hey, real quick, do you have a book behind you that just says God on it?
Oh yeah,
I saw that too. Yeah, I was wondering about that earlier.
We were talking about the Bible earlier. Like
I forgot. My mom gave me this when she came to my office. Seeing God face to face.
Okay.
Because I saw that too, and I was just like.
We're talking about the Bible and
yeah, that's funny. Just to let anyone know, I am not religious. No, none of that.
I was wondering. I was actually going to ask you later. Just like, so are you actually like closeted, like just completely hardcore Christian or something?
No. I grew up that way, but I didn't carry on that tradition. I just do not care about it. I don't care to seek God within.
I don't care either way. I also noticed that earlier. It's just like secretly subliminal little.
My mom put it up too. She was like, "Wait, I'm gonna put it like this so you could see it in your videos." I was like, "Okay, whatever," and I totally forgot that was there.
All right. Well, sorry to interrupt. I was just really paying attention to what you were saying. Then I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah.
Well, no, it's even better just because of the way it is like that. It's all you can see is God in this picture. You can't see what the book is. You can just see God in this just sunset.
That's awesome. I'm leaving that there forever. All right. Next, Jerry, you've been playing Path of Exile 3.0, the new patch. Is it called a patch? No.
This is an expansion.
Expansion?
This would be an expansion.
Yeah, it's
like
not a patch.
the way they do it is they do have patches, but the 2.0 is an expansion and now 3.0 is an expansion. Like technically under was what they call it. And I would call this an expansion because it's massive. Like it's just insane how much they added to the game. Like
I don't know how the team's
crazy.
Not very big either.
No. Well, they've been working on it since like 2008.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just because they've been working on it for so long.
This is the one everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah, it's huge. They finally fulfilled their promise. Like from when they started working on it, they wanted to have 10 acts, and for a very long time we had 2 acts. Then we had 3 acts for a long time. Then we had 4 acts for a long time. Now this expansion added all 10, and it's nuts. It's a lot of fun. It's also a lot harder than I was expecting it to be. A lot.
Yeah, we got the gameplay here. Who is this guy? What is this character here? I'm trying to remember.
When I'm playing
probably the Marauder.
No, when I'm playing on that, I'm playing SRS Witch. So that's summon raging spirits. That's what all the little head skulls are. And basically I'm just zooming around, pumping out a bunch of those to kill everything for me and using a spell called Flesh Offering, which makes me faster and all of them faster. Then there's also Hatred, which is a cold aurora settled on them, so I can pop Orb of Storms, which does lightning damage and trigger it. Yeah, bunch of damage pretty much. But that's going to face Act 5 Katiba. I always want to call it Katiba because they named it way too similarly to the Katiba weapon from Arma, so I always want to call it the Katiba. But
you don't want to call it Sativa
or Shiva from the League?
Nah, dude, it's so close. I always think Katiba from playing like Arma 2 and Arma 3. But yeah, hard boss. And this is the Act 5 version, which is easy mode. Then there's the Act 10 version of it where you face it again, but it's actually the full fight because the Act 5 is actually only half of the fight. And it's pretty much insane. It will definitely one-shot you very easily. But yeah, they added a ton of content. Like, it's crazy how much they added. A lot of it, some people they're happy, but they're wanted a little bit more because some of the way the content works is it's slightly rehashed, some of it. But I've been having a blast.
Oh, so like not all 10 acts are different worlds?
Well, yeah. Like some of it you end up having to go back and kind of replay through similar zones, but the actual feel of it's a lot different because they did add a lot of new mobs and stuff like that, and it's not the exact same. But some people were a little disgruntled that you do have some similarities in some of the zones. Because I'm trying to think of how to explain all of this, like spoiler free, if people don't want, spoils. Basically.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Even though a game like Path of Exile is never about the story, you still don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the story is actually pretty enticing this time too. I've been invested in it.
Are there any new characters?
Surprisingly, no new characters, but there are a lot of new skills and skilled like support gems that make a lot of different builds more viable. So there is a lot more diversity in what you can make to play right now, but it's at the same time it's almost less, especially if you're playing hardcore, because some of the new zones and bosses are so fucking hard that you're running into problems of a lot of people having problems with, like, say, the Act 10 boss. The Act 10 boss is now insane. Like, really difficult to the point that some people in game are, like, making characters just designed to beat that Act 10 boss and then selling boss kills so people can get past it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Which is...
You think they're going to patch it?
No. That's
They're
the
just
point
gonna
of this
keep it like
game,
that?
dude. This game's supposed to be hard.
Well, it's not supposed to lock you into like a specific build just to beat a
I can see that.
boss.
I can see it getting tuned. It's the problem is you still can beat it playing anything if you are good enough. The problem with it is right now there's an invisible bug, and that will definitely get patched that can easily one-shot you, because the way one of the mechanics is he sets down runes that will explode, but some of them are invisible and basically instant explode, so that's a bug, and that will definitely get patched.
Yeah. Now, what would you... First of all, this game's free, so if you guys are interested in like games like this or Diablo 3, get it, because it is free.
Yeah, and it's actually free. It's not pay to win in any way. It is actually free.
Nope,
do they still have like the little pets that you can buy?
Yeah, you can buy cosmetic bullshit and stash tabs.
Yep, you can buy tons of cosmetics, and that's the only thing you can buy. There is an argument some people do make that if you do really get invested in it, you do end up paying for stash tabs, basically.
Yeah, but honestly, this game's free. They added 10 acts for free. The team is so small, and people are still complaining. These fucking entitled little bitches sometimes. Man. Dude, we're going to get into that later.
That's fine, dude. I've given these guys a lot of money. I'm not going to laugh. I've given them I've played this game for like 5 years now, and I've given them a lot of fucking money.
That's good, though.
But it's a lot of fun.
That's a good gaming model. Like, if you really enjoy a game, that you just keep giving them money, you know?
Well,
especially from a small indie developer.
Well, the thing too is like every time they do have like an expansion or like a big patch like that, they offer supporter packs. That's entirely how the company is funded for the most part, is these supporter packs. And you know, you buy a supporter pack for $30, and like I can look at my Steam now and see like I have 800 fucking hours in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's obviously
crazy,
worth a lot more than $30. Like every now and then.
Yeah.
When you're just talking about, you know, like
that is
like
crazy.
having less than 15.
I just
800 hours, dude. That's welcome to No Life Gaming Podcast.
I just looked at mine and I only have like 35 hours in it. So
how do I check?
I
play this game a lot, dude.
I wonder if mine is still up there. I need to check.
You just go to your Steam library and go to your installed games and click on Path of Exile, and it'll show right by the little play button how many hours you have.
So, what would you recommend? Would you recommend anything to new players? Because, like, when I first got into it, there was 3 acts, and it was still kind of in like beta. And I played for a while. I loved the game, and I had a Marauder, I had a Ranger, and I was working on like a Witch. And they were just getting into the map system where you can play these maps, and then they were doing like different leagues and stuff. All right, go ahead.
Leagues are fun. Mapping's a little bit different now. The actual maps themselves are pretty much the same. Just the how you upgrade them's like a different system, and it's pretty cool.
43 hours in this game.
It's a lot of fun, dude. It's honestly, if you're gonna start out, I would definitely look up a build guide. I might make one for an easy thing, but look up what's called SRS, which is Summon Raging Spirits. Sunder, which is a different skill, and that's more like a ground slam kind of, you know, you hit the ground and he shoots out spikes at the people. Or another really good one, I wouldn't suggest Glassgate Mines. Mines would get too confusing possibly for like a first build. But you want to look up starter builds, really easy builds, because this game can get very complex and confusing.
It's super confusing, in my opinion.
I don't know. Once it makes sense, it's not that bad.
I think
it's one of those things where it seems a lot more confusing, and it's really easy to overthink.
It does get pretty confusing because you have a skill tree that is just unbelievably gigantic, and the way like the skills work with the currency system is just fucked up. And then you have like these gems, and the currency works with your items and gems. Like you can't just like go somewhere and like buy something with money, like a regular gold or something. Like you have to have specific gems, and like you can get something and turn it into something great by using like a chaos orb or some shit like this, and then it just changes the way things link up, and then you can use that in your skills from your skill tree. And if you're listening to it, it gets crazy, like pretty intense.
Okay, when you put it that way, yeah, definitely. Because you're right.
Like you need to like read up about builds, and you need to like, it's not a game that you can kind of just jump into and start ripping through it. You can, but you're gonna get your ass whooped. You have to actually like learn the skill system, the currency, how to trade. It's unrelenting in that way.
It's mostly because the game technically doesn't have a currency system.
Yeah,
it has a crafting system, and there's crafting mats which all do different things. And that's what people use as currency to barter and trade with. And all of those things do different things as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually a good thing that it's so complex, is because you can spend more time in the game. And it gives you more playability when it's more complex like that.
And they did finally also fix what I think was Total Biscuit's biggest problem with the game. They actually have a pretty good tutorial system in now. So when you do launch up for the first time, they actually have a pretty in-depth set of tutorials that it'll guide you through and actually teach you the basics instead of just getting thrown in like you used to.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, the when you first get into it, you wash up ashore and they give you like a little weapon, and they're like,
there you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Welcome.
You're like, what is this trading system? Like, I remember getting in there and like, I was like, how do I start trading? Because I wanted to learn how to do it. And I was just like, I don't know here. And that was a long time ago. So it's like, I'm sure it's a lot more different, but the core gameplay is still the same. And I loved Path of Exile. I loved making builds. I didn't care too much about like having the most powerful player. I didn't care too much about finishing the game. I just like making like crazy wonky builds. And you can do any type of build you want in this game, which is great. Like you can have a witch that does like sunder or something and effectively have like elemental damage in certain areas. Or you can like max out, like there was one of my characters was using blood as like his mana pool. And like you can use like your potions and stuff to effectively constantly keep your blood going up while you're using it as mana.
Like those old blood magic rangers.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, where you just get rid of your mana pool and you like double your health, but all of your skills cost health.
Yeah.
That was.
And you might think like that's not an effective way, and maybe it's not, but it's fun to do stuff like that, and that's what this game gives you.
Oh, in some ways, some places that was more effective.
Yeah.
Like, way more effective, because you can get large health pools, and you want a large health pool.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Path of Exile is you can really just, anything's effective as long as it works. It works. You know what I mean? There's no like one set best build. Is like, if this works for you and this you know, you can survive using this tactic, then fuck it, go ahead. Why not? As long as it works.
Yeah, it's fun. You just you do have to sink some time into it.
Yeah, sure. But it's really easy to do that. Like, one thing I have noticed is if you are going to try this game, get to like Act 3. Like, get to Act 3 before you like try to really judge it, because the first 2 acts are really boring. Like, they're really, really fucking boring sometimes. And if you're following a build, your character is going to feel really weak and you're not going to get the gist of the game. But I mean, crap, with 3.0, Lyric's been streaming it nonstop. Mm-hmm. And I would also suggest don't follow Lyric for any suggestions on how to play Path of Exile.
Yeah, no shit. I'd follow Lyric if he was trying to teach me how to play Arma, but yeah, not Path of Exile.
Ziggy,
I'm just saying,
you gotta go to
it's
Ziggy,
really bad.
man.
Ziggy's good. Ziz is good. Both of those two are really good for beginners. Mathel's really good for beginners as well. If you want, Ziggy D Gaming and Zazarian. Both of those two are fantastic if you're just starting out Path of Exile. They're great streamers. They're great content creators. They will point you in the right direction.
And one thing was really quick, one thing that you have to understand when you start watching their videos is like, they're going to be saying a bunch of shit you have no clue about. Like, they're going to start talking they're going to start dropping weird language. And, you know, it doesn't hurt to kind of like pause and like look up what words mean, because that's one thing because when he was doing it way back when the game kind of like first came out, he was doing tutorials and stuff. And I was watching and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's He's like, it's hard to follow if you're a complete new person and you're learning the game, and he's like talking about all these difficult builds, and he says it in a very matter-of-fact way, which I think he should maybe work on a little bit. You know, some people don't know anything. They don't know what the currency system is. They don't know mind over matter or something like that. You know,
I think that's actually going to be an interesting thing that's going to start happening with the game, because I mean, this might just be a flavor of the month thing, which I'm kind of guessing, but for a long time, Path of Exile's got a pretty good sized community, but it's a hardcore game. It's a hardcore community. So you definitely had to market towards that. Like,
true.
The only people who would watch that content are, you know, knee deep in that content. This is the game they play. Where since 3.0 came out, holy shit, it blew up. There's like over 100, like I think on average there used to be like around maybe 10,000 people playing it, and I think over the weekend there was like over 100,000.
I think it's flavor of the month though, like you were saying.
I do too, but like
this game's difficult.
Yeah, but I think there is a spot for people to explain that. What I was also going to say is, if you do want to try it out new, Mathel is another good guy. If you want less of a cookie cutter build, that's good for beginners. But to echo off of just what Wayne was saying, yeah, you're going to have to look up what he's saying, because he doesn't break it down as easily for someone who doesn't understand as, say, like Ziggy or Zazarian.
Yeah, that's pretty much my only criticism of what they're doing. But yeah, it's free. Go pick it up, try it out if you like these kind of games. If you don't like Diablo 3 or even Diablo 2 or these kind of games, you're not going to enjoy this game, because it's a lot. It's basically just a hardcore version of what people like about those games. Crazy
if
builds.
You don't like,
running maps, grinding.
They took it for like everyone who likes those style of games. Basically, their goal was like, we're gonna make the best fucking game for that.
Yeah, and fuck anyone else who doesn't like it.
If you don't like Diablo 2, you can fuck yourself.
That's true. I agree. All right, let's talk about some news. We got a lot of news. Go ahead.
Don't blame me if you do get addicted, because I have noticed there actually has been quite a few variety streamers, or even still streaming right now, who are just like, yeah, I was gonna play this for a night, maybe two, and it's like been like 5 days now, and they're still just like, yep, I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream of this today. I'm gonna take a break for Sub Sunday, and then I'm streaming this all day again.
Oh, you talking about Lyric?
Yeah, like Lyric, JP, like a bunch of them have all just been like, yeah, I'm playing this. This is what I'm doing now.
They don't normally play that game?
No,
he hasn't even touched
Lyric
it
usually
before.
plays like Arma and
He gets into this
PUBG and shit like that.
That's pretty cool.
Like, I mean, yeah, even like old Diablo people, like Lord.
If you like that kind of game,
X,
if you like that kind of game, it's the best game out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So there's really because it's so complex, and you can craft any person you want. I don't like the cookie cutter builds, because like I said, the fun in that game for me is trying my best to make like a wonky build, and most of the time it doesn't work out because the game is so fucking hard. And then like after a while, like if you're not into grinding, you're not gonna enjoy the game. It's a lot of grinding and just running around the same maps, killing the same dude, and it can get a little tiresome. But overall, it's a great game.
I haven't played all the new acts, but Jerry, what's the worst quest line that you hate so far? Yeah, I'll tell you what mine is. Mine is in Act 2 where you have to go find the bandits. I fucking hate that quest line.
Oh,
they still have that quest line?
Easy. Yeah, by the way, also pro tip, if you're doing that nowadays, kill all the bandits every single time.
Yeah, I always do it anyway, because it's tedious. I hate it. It's not that it's hard, it's just that it's tedious.
For some builds, it used to be better to take Oaks, or like help Oak, because he would give you health. But now, since there isn't, you don't run it 3 times, because you used to have to kill him 3 times, and the rewards would change each time. Now that you only kill him once, if you kill all of them, you get 2 skill points.
Yeah.
So it's always better to basically kill them all, except for like, I think 2 builds in the entire game that will help Illyria. But other than that, just kill them all.
He doesn't know anything about the story.
No, it's more. I really hate Fairgraves for the most part.
He's the pirate dude, right?
Yeah, the first Fairgraves is all right. Now there's absolutely no point in doing the second Fairgraves, and that's where I'll stay spoiler free at. Right. I won't go into. There's some in Act 5 and 6 that are like.
All right, we got game releases for this week. This is a new segment that I'm going to be adding every week. We're going to talk about new games that are coming out for the week. And for this week, August 8th, which is tomorrow, Tuesday, Hellblade, Batman, Enemy Within, Lawbreakers comes out tomorrow for PC and PS4. I might pick it up on PS4. I've been playing a lot of PS4 because I don't have my gaming PC at home. And I don't know. There's not many games that I don't have for PS4. Lawbreakers is one that I kind of want to just add to the collection. Armello Deluxe Edition PS4, Black Hole, Cat Quest, all you cat people, Cat Quest, PC, PS4. Comet Crash, Graceful Explosion Machine, Icy Masquerada, Mega Man Legacy Collection, Neon Drive, Neptune Flux, Cinemore X. On Thursday, August 10th, West of Loathing, ACA, I don't know what that is. That's for the Switch, Neo Geo stuff. Flip Wars for the Switch, and Eliminage Original for 3DS, and then Friday the Escapist 2 on Xbox One, and that's it for this week. Big notable ones, I guess, is Lawbreakers and Hellblade. Some people are hyped on Hellblade. I might check that out as well. I know nothing about Hellblade, so it looks interesting. Moving on. Shadow of War will contain paid loot boxes. What?
Sorry, I'm still watching Cat Quest.
What is it? I have no clue what that game is.
It doesn't actually look terrible. It's just an open world RPG
about cats.
You play a cat. It looks like Cat Path of Exile, Cat Diablo. It's just an open. It's an open map, but you're just a cat and everything's cute.
You're just a cat in just a big world, man. That is cute. This is a cute little game. I'm definitely not gonna play it.
Yeah.
All right, what were we saying, Loco? I heard you grunting over there.
Shh. The new Shadow of Mordor game is gonna have loot boxes.
Yeah. Of course.
What the fuck is this, dude?
Of course, dude. Every game has to have
not only is it
now.
loot boxes, it's also microtransactions.
Yeah.
Does
Of
this
course.
surprise you, though, coming from the same company that made contracts with YouTubers and didn't say anything about it for Shadow of Mordor? I mean, you shouldn't be shocked at this point.
I forgot about that. You were right. They did do that.
Dude, this is so bad. Like, I don't know. I guess, like, I understand loot boxes in a free-to-play game. In a free-to-play game or, like, a multiplayer game, I kind of understand it, but like a single
player open world,
single player experience, like why am I buying loot boxes?
Well, let's say what they contain. They contain gear, weapons and armor, of varying rarity. Equipping and upgrading these weapons and armor enhance Talion's character abilities. Loot chests also contain XP boosts that help the character level up faster. War chests provide orc followers of varying rarity to help forge a strong army. XP boosts bundles package up loot quests. So it's basically
so hey, you paid $60 for this game, but do you want to like skip parts of the game?
Yeah,
well, you can pay for that.
It's
so I'm going to pay you more money to play less game.
They're just taking it, like I said before, they're just taking advantage of the fact that, like, as like gamers growing up, like our generation, like we have jobs now and we still want to play games, but we have less time. So they're like, hey, pay us more money and you can, kind of cut out some of the time you have to play.
Yep, that's what that is.
It's
dumb.
Paid freemium.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already paying $60 for the game. I'm sorry.
I didn't even like the first one. I didn't think the first one was that good.
I wasn't.
A lot of people were hype on it. I thought the game was. They kept saying the graphics were amazing. Graphics were terrible.
Dude, the game looked dark all the time.
It looked like
everything was black.
Warcraft dorks, best dorks. Warcraft dorks, best dorks.
It was fun. It was fun for the first I don't know, a couple hours until you realize you're like, oh, this is all this is.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, pressing the fight button over and over and over again for 60 hours. Who cares about the Nemesis system when you don't even care?
Well, I was about to say the Nemesis system was kind of cool, but like I said, the whole luster of it kind of just faded really quickly, and then I got bored.
Yeah, the Nemesis system, they were like the you know, you can forge your own rivals in this game. You know, an orc might come back and want to kill you. It's like, I don't care. I really just don't care about this game. I don't care about these fake rivalries because you don't want to make up like a story. You don't want to take the time to write a story into the game that, you know, kind of lends the hand into the combat. I don't know. I was not a big fan, and the graphics were terrible.
Then they were like, yeah, like they remember how you killed them last. It's like, well, motherfucker, that's because I killed them. Why are they back? Exactly. Why do they remember? They should be dead.
I couldn't explore without running into a giant pack of enemies and keep getting killed. It's like I want to explore, but to do that, I have to sneak around everywhere, and I just wasn't feeling that kind of gameplay.
True, yeah. There's very slow exploration.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like the trailers they showed so far, the new one, things look more colorful. The characters seem to be like, what was that, like in the E3 trailer with the giant orc? He had a lot of personality, and I like that. So I'm going to wait and see. I might pick it up depending on if it looks like a game I want to play, but I'm not buying it day one.
Yeah. I'm gonna check out the reviews and never buy it. I'm not a fan of that series. I did like that Lord of the Rings game on PlayStation 2, I think. I don't remember the name of it, but you could play as the three dudes, and it was phenomenal. Oh, yeah. The Legolas, the other dude, and I don't
it was like it was like the whole trilogy they had in 3 separate games, but it was like a stage where you would just walk through the stage and do combat. It was just the name of the games: Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Yeah, those
or
games.
The books. Or
they're pretty good.
Yeah, I played them a couple times. I really liked Return of the King, especially like the whole level up system, and you had skills you could level up.
Yeah, and there was just good combat, and it was right around the time of the movie, so it was like you're in tune with it. Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of Mordor. It just was a little, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. I know a lot of people like it though, so whatever. Stardew Valley multiplayer update, up to 3 farmhand cabins. I have no clue what that means. You want to explain?
Oh, you can marry each other.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't really care about all that, but dude, like I've been waiting for Stardew Valley multiplayer for so long. I'm so hyped for this, dude. But no, what they're saying is like basically what it's going to be like is the person that does your like building upgrades in the game, you can pay them and they'll build up to 3 like farmhand houses where you can have your friends come in and do multiplayer, which by the way, you can just do it through Steam. You don't have to do like some kind of weird peer-to-peer kernel type thing like you had to do in Minecraft and Terraria. But so they can just come in and they can do everything that you can do in your single player experience except pick which side you side with in the JoJo thing. Yeah, that's like the only other thing that they can't do, but they can do everything else, and that's pretty cool. I don't know, that I find that really cool, to be honest with you. And
this game's out for the Switch, right?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't think it's out yet, but when it does come out, people are gonna buy the hell out of it.
Dude, that game is so good.
Yeah. What is it? Is it like Minecraft?
No, it's not. It's more like Harvest Moon.
Is it like, I mean, like Harvest Moon? Is there any Terraria elements to it?
No.
No, it's just Harvest Moon.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Harvest Moon.
It's great though.
So it's a farming game?
Yeah. It's kind of like a farming game where you can also like explore mines and kill enemies, and you build relationships with other people. I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
There's a lot of people that really like this game.
Yeah, that's because you can put this game on if you have like a stressful day or something like this. This is not a stressful game. This is a game that, you know, it's just very stress relieving. You can just chill out and play it for hours on end. It's one of those where like, you ever heard like the one more turn syndrome?
Yeah.
Like you're just sitting here, you're like, okay, I'll just do one more day's worth of activities. And then you sleep and then you're like, okay, well, I'll just do one more day. I'll just do one more day. It's a really easy game to play for a while.
I'm into that. I'm definitely into that. I like this
No,
game.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And people have wanted multiplayer for a long time, and it was slated to come out early next year, and that's still the goal. But like this adding updates is kind of cool because the fact you can do everything, but you can also like marry other players and like have interactions with them and not just show up and do nothing. That's like what everyone wanted. It's pretty much you just play with other people. And what I think some people were worried about was like, you know, like you can visit, and that's the multiplayer, you know what I mean? Instead of like you're actually playing and being a part of the game.
Right on. Next, Hearthstone new expansion launches on the 10th. Single player missions and 135 new cards being added to the game. Boom.
I'm hyped. I don't know. I know Jerry might be a little bit excited, but that's the thing about Hearthstone is like when a new expansion comes out, I'm all hype as fuck about it, and I'm gonna put a lot of time into it. And then like a month and a half later, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna stop playing Hearthstone again.
Yeah.
But I am hyped.
I'm excited because I think the Death Knight stuff's gonna be cool, but we'll see.
I haven't even looked at any of the cards, to be completely honest with you. I've looked at absolutely nothing. I already pre-ordered the pack because I always pre-order packs, dude. I always pre-order the pack, the expansion. I don't know, like that's the only money I spend on Hearthstone. It's like when a new expansion is coming out, I'll like pre-order, and then every other pack I buy afterwards is just with gold.
I'm really hyped that they're adding the missions. Like they're adding like the single player things, because that was the biggest thing that sucked about them taking away adventures, is because how they used to do it is they had an adventure mode, and that there would be an adventure pack, then an expansion pack, and then an adventure pack. And what the adventures were there were a lot less cards. There were only like probably on average 30 to 40 new cards versus like an expansion, which is closer to 150. And they decided to get rid of the adventures entirely, which sucked because the adventures came with like a bunch of cool single player modes. Yeah. Basically, like they always had really cool like niche mechanics to them and stuff like that. Like one of them for the Medivh thing, like the chess event, that was a lot of fun. It was cool. It was basically what it was. It was it was just you against the computer, but all of your deck got replaced with chess pieces, and they would interact in different ways. So they would only attack like the one in front of them or to the side or like other chess pieces, stuff like that. They just had a lot of cool single player battles, and those are coming back. I'm happy about.
Nice. Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire is next expansion launching in September. I can't believe this game is still around. This game's old as shit.
It apparently has a pretty big player base. Well, I mean, considering it's like, I think
my brother loves Guild Wars, loves it.
Yeah, I think the tier list is like World of Warcraft, and then Final Fantasy 14 is the next most popular MMO, and then probably Guild Wars right under that. To be honest with you,
that Black Desert Online crap.
Yeah, that BDO body odor online. I can't call it what Shindo called it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Splunky creator and pals make 50 retro games within a game. UFO 50. Crazy. What? This is crazy.
Yeah, it's I'm not quite understanding if they're supposed to have like similarities or if they're supposed to link up, but yeah, apparently that's the next gaming project for the Spelunky creator. It's just one game. I think it's called like UFO 50 or something like that. And it's just 50 retro style games, all with different directors.
So I'm going to play a little bit of the trailer here so you can get an idea of what this looks like. From the creators of Splunky, Downwell, Time Barons, Scorplunk, Madhouse. So you can see like this looks like Metroid. This looks like Fishman. This looks like basketball.
I mean, it's kind of cool. You get a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah, I like games like this. Oh, I like mini games. I'm a big fan of mini games in a game.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want like a whole game of mini games. I don't know. I guess you could call it like WarioWare or Mario Party.
What, you don't want to play 1-2 Switch?
Oh, 1-2 Switch.
This looks wow, that was like a Metal Gear Solid remake. So they're like remaking these games. I don't know if I'm into this. Moving on. Mistborn RPG. We were talking about Mistborn earlier.
Yeah.
Looks like it's canceled. Boom.
Yeah,
RPG
due to funding issues.
Canceled. Can't get enough.
That's kind of unfortunate. That's kind of unfortunate because I figured that the combat system and all of that would have been kind of cool. The magic system in that novel series trilogy, actually it's more than a trilogy now. There's another trilogy. But I always thought it was pretty cool. Like the whole point of it was like you would ingest like metals, like metals dust, like pewter or iron or stuff like that. And some people could like burn the metal and it would give them like different powers and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it would have made a really cool RPG, but that's kind of sad. But
that really sucks because it's like, damn, you can't get the money up to finish it because you know they've been working on it for a while now. Like, that sucks, man. That's rough. Next, Horizon Zero Dawn gets its DLC gets a release date, which is November, which I'm pumped for. I was hoping it was a little earlier. I was hoping we get in like September, maybe late August, but it's in November. Frozen Wilds. It's gonna be like icy. Here's a little trailer if you want to take a look. This game is fucking phenomenal. If you have a PS4, you have to play this game.
I think I'm going to be picking up. I think I'm going to pick up Horizon Zero Dawn probably at the same date, just like as the DLC drops. I'll probably pick up the game and get the DLC for it.
Yeah, I whenever you pick it up, I just pick it up. I highly, highly recommend it. It is so good. All right. Dragon Quest Builders 2 coming to PS4 and Switch. Let's put this up here.
Now this is like huge in Japan. So over the weekend, I think they had like there were lines outside of some stores in Japan that were like 5,000 people trying to get a Switch, and there was only like 500. And Dragon Quest, like we've talked about before, is huge in Japan. So I think this is going to there's going to be a lot of people who want this on the Switch. I'm more interested in seeing how it's going to run on the Switch.
You don't think it'll run well?
I don't know how well Dragon Quest Builders 1 ran, but if, you know, what was the one Dragon Quest Heroes game that ran like crap? Like, it ran, it was like under 30 FPS.
Yeah. It was like Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just called Dragon Quest Heroes.
Yeah. I mean, this was probably less resource intensive, but...
Yeah, this looks like a turn-based game. From what I'm seeing.
No, Builders?
It's like Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like it's basically Minecraft.
Which the Switch runs fine.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like Minecraft that looks better, and there's like a quest system. Like it actually supposed to have a story and quests and shit like that.
That's pretty cool. I don't know what they're showing now on their like trailer on this video, but it looks like some kind of like board game. All right, moving on. All right, so I saw this in a comment section on Kotaku. Earthworm Jim creator goes on a transphobic tyrant on Twitter. And there's a few articles about it. This is one on AV Club. So what happened was someone, a journalist, a trans journalist, was criticized his game Earthworm Jim, which is like old ass game. He gives a shit about fucking Earthworm Jim, and the guy, his name's Ten Nepal on Twitter. He says, "Heather, you're a good man and entitled to your opinion. If you ever want to go into why we created the way we did in the 90s, let's chat." And he specifically said, "You're a good man." He didn't have to say that he did just to be a dickhead. And then he went on and continued to basically.
To be fair, this is not like something new with him.
Really?
He goes back to like 2013. He's known donator to Breitbart. His political views are not like this is not something like, oh no, I can't believe the creative Earthworm Jim. No, this is ongoing.
Yeah, and then he wrote, I challenged trans gamer Think to call or do an interview over Skype. His readers would value an open discussion over passive aggression. I think I can give a good defense of the game to Heather and provide a better context of an early 90s shooter. And then he just goes on and he's just being a dickhead. And I don't know why he's still relevant. Has he created any other games since then?
He had a Kickstarter, I think, for some game.
A failed Kickstarter?
I don't even know. It's not Earthworm Jim, so I really don't care.
One comment he made, which is quite alarming, just being a dickhead. Someone wrote to him, "Stop misgendering her. I don't care if you think she's a man, but people will focus just on that and not any points you'll make." And he said he misgendered himself. If people ignore his madness to arbitrarily go after my sanity, then they impugn themselves. And then he says, "I'm calling out Kotaku for doing a passive-aggressive hit piece on my work out of their gender politics. No other reason for the article." So just another whiny.
God, we have to bash Earthworm Jim based solely on the fact that he's all right. What? I don't even.
Yeah.
I like Earthworm Jim. Like, I like those games, but like they did not age that well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they were cool, like
a lot of games
old
haven't.
ass games.
I don't get why anyone gives a shit.
I know. This game is old as
because it's 2017 and we all have to feel offended about something at all times.
No, we don't. People really don't. That's the thing.
Oh,
the only reason is we have way too much time on our hands.
The only reason that guy
like video games, but like nah. Man,
oh no, the only reason that guy even said half of the shit that he did was just this grasping straws tactic on trying to be relevant again. That's all it is. He's trying to get more publicity, more attention towards his way. Because honestly, like, dude, who cares? It's 2017. I don't really care what you think your gender is. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's your prerogative. You can do whatever you want to. This is America. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't care.
Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even that, dude. It's just I don't care, but at the same time, I don't give a shit about Earthworm Jim. I don't give a shit about this guy who made it. Why is this such an uproar of things that people shouldn't give a shit about?
And I think that like you notice like a lot of those like alt writers who come out and like publicly trigger people, they're usually people just trying to get attention, which is something that they demonize themselves, and I always find that really interesting. No one cares. No one cares about your politics. No one really cares, and it's just a point to just like get into some argument. Like, people are looking for arguments these days, and it's kind of fucking annoying if you ask me. Moving on, Grand Theft Auto 5, another mod. This is natural vision. Looks great. This is the reason why this game is just still selling so well. It's because shit like this. It looks like a fucking brand new game. It's phenomenal.
Well, yeah, I was actually watching this when y'all were talking about the Earthworm Jim thing, because I just, like I said, I didn't want to play into it. But this looks really good.
It's
like
crazy.
at first I thought it was just just real life footage. It looks that good.
Yeah,
like somebody just took a camera and started videotaping.
That's what it looks like. It looks like someone's like making a film.
I don't know about that good, but it's really good. I wouldn't say this is lifelike.
What?
I don't think
we were just talking about Earthworm Jim, and you don't say this looks lifelike. Oh, come on, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks amazing, but it's not there yet. I mean, yeah, okay.
No,
it's not Earthworm Jim. I'm not calling it that.
I think you have a point in like the people models we still are kind of far off, but some of these environmental shots, dude, it's hard to tell. Like, if you just like had a quick glance, you looked over it, you would think it's real life. Like, some of the environmental stuff, like the textures, and they're gorgeous. But I do agree, like, the people are still wonky, and like they're not there yet.
Honestly, it was low water.
Like,
the building shots and the scenery is beautiful, though. I definitely have to say that.
There's a scene where he's where like they drive by like a Long Beach sign that looks so real. Just that sign, that's like the best looking sign I've ever seen in a game. That's crazy, and that's a game that came out fucking years ago.
That's why I can't think it's lifelike. It looks amazing, but every time I also keep looking back at my screen here, it's still oh, that's a GTA 5 car. And that just completely breaks it for me.
Well, speaking of graphics, this is our last new gaming news story from the day. This is Death Stranding showcased their Decima engine through Death Stranding on SIGGRAPH 2017. SIGGRAPH is like a CGI computer graphics event, almost like a Comic-Con, but for CGI people. It's awesome. And I highly suggest you look at the YouTubes for it. And Death Stranding showcased like what the Decima engine, which is what Horizon uses, what it looks like. And that fucking
looks great.
Gorgeous, man. This is on PS4. This is on PS4. So PS4 Pro, 4K, maybe 30 frames per second. I don't care. It looks good. Really what you're looking at here, I studied computer graphics for a while. You're looking at like the occlusion, the ambient occlusion and everything. And like when the shadows come down or the sun comes down, the way everything kind of bounces off of like the sun, which is like in a different spot. It's not direct. It just looks so good. Like the materials look so great. And this is running in engine. I assume it's running in engine, which is why they're showing it off. So I'm excited. Decima looks awesome. So I'm pumped for that.
I still want to know more about Death Stranding.
Well, now you know it looks good.
No, it's gonna. I mean, it's Kojima, so it's gonna be weird. It's gonna look really cool, and it's probably gonna leave everyone at the end just going, "I don't know. It was great, but I don't know what it was."
I'm down.
At the very least, based off of that, it's got probably the prettiest skybox in the world. So,
yeah,
that's like the building wasn't as amazing, but the skybox was shit.
Yeah, this skybox looks nice. Here's now this is the news section called Tech News. We're gonna separate the tech news out of the gaming news. So if you don't want to listen to the gaming news, you can skip it. If you don't want to listen to tech news, you can skip it, or you can listen to both, which I highly recommend. Tech news. This is the Hyperkin Smart Boy reviewed on Engadget on their YouTube channel. Basically, it's just fucking pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's like a Game Boy mod that you attach to your smartphone, and you can plug in cartridges and play it through an emulator. And they say it's a little wonky. They say there's still some things that need to be worked out, but you can play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and some Game Boy Advance games, or all Game Boy Advance games, but there's like some kind of limitation to it. But it's pretty cool, man. This is a pretty cool toy. Like if you want to get someone a gift, this thing's pretty damn cool looking, and it like wraps around your phone in a really interesting way, and kind of like it looks like a Game Boy, like a modern day Game Boy.
And that's one of the things people have like issues with like using their smartphone, just the smartphone itself, not like any kind of accessories to play games, is like there's always like the buttons, like you have to touch the screen and it sucks. Like having this kind of mod is pretty cool. Yeah. It gives you that classic feel, using your phone.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I think it's really cool. And speaking of mobile games, I've been playing Soul Knight on my phone, which is like a what are they called? Fuck, I can't remember.
Was it tower defense?
No, it's like that. It's like Dead Cells. What is that called? Roguelite. It's like a roguelite. And it's a fucking great mobile game. I can't believe how awesome this game is. Just super. It's just great. It's kind of like Gungeon, and that other game that's like that I can't remember either. I can't remember.
Binding of Isaac?
Yeah. It's kind of like a mash between those two, Binding of Isaac and Gungeon. And it's for your mobile, and it's great, and I highly recommend it. It's free as well. Some more tech news. iPhone 8. This is big news. iPhone 8 leaks. It's going to have 4K video at 60 frames per second. And to give you an understanding what that means, my $3,000 full-frame DSLR can't do 4K at 60 frames per second. Granted, it's going to be heavily compressed to allow this kind of technology to even work, but Apple has developed a new compression algorithm for their images and videos. Their video one's called HEVC. It's like high encoding video codec or something like that. And it says basically you take a 4K file, it'll cut it in half. in terms of size. It does really great compression. And I think because of that technology, they're able to give 4K 60 frames per second. I don't know how it's going to work with like overheating and stuff like that, because when you're opening up your camera sensor to start record, it gets hot and you need to cool that off somehow. But it seems like they're able to do it if they're going to put it in the iPhone. Something that we'll talk about later that Apple does is like, if they're going to give you something, it's going to work, and it's going to work in the way that it should be used. So I'm very interested. I might switch over to the iPhone if this comes out to be true. 4K 60 frames per second is phenomenal.
I don't know much about cameras and like how that stuff all works, but like, does that affect battery life at all?
Oh yeah.
So I'm wondering how like that's going to affect battery life.
Oh yeah. I don't know with this new format. It could change it. It could just be like your regular recording a video. But yeah, whenever you turn that camera on, you're draining that battery down. It takes a lot of processing power. If you're going to do in
60 FPS 4K.
Yeah, that's a lot of power that's going to be drawn out of that battery for sure.
That's why y'all got to invest in a power bank.
Yeah. But that's fucking awesome. I'm super pumped for that. And there's other leaks that came out, but that's one that's really substantial. I'm interested in the phone.
That sounds cool. The one that doesn't sound cool to me is 3 cameras, possibly.
Why not?
Dude, there is a line. And I think that's kind of crossing it. Because, like, okay, the thing that I'm more worried about is you're adding more stuff. You already took out the headphone jack to add nothing. But now you're adding 3 cameras. It's going to be a bigger phone, which I'm fine with. But it's like, otherwise, it's just like, what are you going to do?
Well, it's going to be smaller.
A camera bump?
Well, it's going to be smaller because it's got no bezels now. It's a bezel-less iPhone. So it's going to be smaller than the Plus. And it's going to have 3 cameras. Probably the same kind of battery life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
now, Jerry, before you get on your high horse, isn't the next Pixel going to have
and I'm pissed the fuck off about it.
Jerry's over there fucking shaking his head and grinning. It's like, well, you know, Google's doing it
I'm
too.
more grinning because I'm trying to I'm fighting back, just making jokes about how my dick's gonna be shorter once I chop it off too. All of these claims are not gonna fucking happen.
I don't mind not having a headphone jack anymore. I used to be the same kind of person, but the way that they justify it is that through USB-C or through Lightning connector, like USB-C is the new standard, you can now have an implemented DAC into your headphones, which is always better than just a shitty little...
You look like you want to implement a dick into your headphones.
Like, don't get me wrong, dude. It is better for if you want to have a DAC. But for, the rest of the world, where, you know what, sometimes I just want to take my phone with me and I don't want to take a dongle with a DAC with then headphones with me to get on the fucking bus. Yeah, no, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, that is annoying. I can imagine.
This does highly affect me because I literally, when I go to work, I've stopped taking my laptop to work because we've been busier. So basically what I do at work is I just have my phone and I have earbuds and I either just listen to podcasts or I listen to music or I listen to audiobooks or something all night long. 8 hours a night. And now they're just like, hey, you know what? You got to buy a dongle. We're not going to have Well,
it comes with the dongle. You just have to use it and remember to bring it, which sucks.
Yeah, that's more shit I got to keep up with, man. I can barely keep up with my keys. I don't need fucking extra little dongles and shit.
Well, the hack is to tape your fucking dongle on the end of your headphones, and there you go.
Yeah, I got a fucking $1,000 phone, but I got Scotch tape just fucking surrounding
Here's my new
it.
phone. Here's my new phone. It's just got the dongle attached to it permanently. But it's thinner. It's smaller. It's all around smaller phone. It's got better battery life. I just got to keep this box of a dongle on it at all times.
Well,
that looks like a Watofo box. Don't fuck with me, Jerry.
It's about the same fucking thing.
I honestly think that, I think it's for the better. USB-C. Pretty soon headphones are just going to have USB-C on the end. There you go. There's no 3.5 millimeter jack because now you can implement much more efficient DACs in the headphones.
Great. And now I got to pay $40 for my $5 headphones.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Or you can get Bluetooth headphones. I love my Bluetooth headphones.
I do too, but it's just one of the, I don't know. I think everyone's jumping the gun on it still.
I think you just need to embrace the future. Just let the future be. 4K 60,
but I'm also fucking poor. So
would you rather have a headphone jack or 4K 60 frames per second camera?
A headphone jack.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck am I using 4K 60 frames per second camera
I can
for?
I can do 4K.
What am I using that camera for?
It's beautiful. The problem too, you have to remember it's on a phone too. So the problem, even with it compressing that much, a 4K file is still fucking huge. So it's one of those, like, I have a 4K 30 camera. It's beautiful. It is gorgeous.
It ain't gonna look like that either. It's not gonna look that good. It's not gonna look like
that's exactly. It's one of those, I have it. It looks beautiful. I still use it on, I use 1080p 60 frames every time.
Hey,
just
bro,
I can use twice as much.
Your Snapchat stories are gonna look really nice though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, what else am I using like a 60 frame per second?
I guess that's a different, because
4K.
someone like me, 4K 60 is a big deal. It's fucking awesome having that in your pocket. But someone who doesn't fucking shoot video all the time. You know.
What about, I mean
even I even do shoot a lot of video, but it's one of those, it's still a phone. It has a limited amount of space on it, and I'd rather have a headphone jack.
Yeah. But now I'm thinking, like, you just get one of those little Samsung drives and you just plug it in through the USB-C, and then you got a 4K rig right there. I just want to know if it's gonna overheat, because that's a lot of heat, man. There's a lot of cameras that overheat because they can't keep up with a fucking 4K 30. 4K
so now I have to buy another fucking thing for my phone.
Dude.
Another dongle to add on. Great.
No, you don't have to buy shit. It's just if you want these features, you do. All right. Oh, speaking of Google Pixel, they just knocked the price off of their Pixel line. $200 for the Plus. $200 for the Plus model, and then $150 for the regular model.
It's cool. They're just doing that. They always do that. There's a new one coming out in October, probably just after the iPhone.
$569 for the 32 gig. 32 gig. Who buys a 32 gig phone?
Dude, I would want a 32 gig phone. I have a 16 gig phone and I do not like it. So
yeah, that's not enough space, man.
Hell no.
64, at least 64, I think.
Yeah, but the thing with
you're paying $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with Pixels isn't like the big thing with Pixels and Androids. Like you can put your own SD cards in there.
Right.
Micro SDs.
Not anymore.
Oh, you can't?
No, not anymore.
Oh,
no.
Fuck that.
No. Well, 32 gigs, I could deal with 32 gigs. I was actually looking at this.
Well, I guess if you got the cloud.
It's like, I would actually want to pick this up.
Honestly,
if you have the cloud.
Just Google Drive support.
Yeah, that's actually I would actually get the 16 if it was cheaper then, because then you could just throw everything to the cloud.
I mean, even with Google, even if you're paying for it and you don't have a bunch of it for free or something like that, I think it's $2 a month for 100 gigs.
Yeah.
Or you can get like, I think 500 for like not even 10.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. And everything backs up. The big thing too that is nice about the Pixel, especially size wise.
Yeah, isn't this the phone that you have, Jerry?
Yeah, I have right here. Nice. I love it. It's amazing. What I was gonna say is the cool thing they do is you do have unlimited free photo storage, and it automatically backs up everything, and it also auto deletes everything after a certain amount of time. So your phone actually never really fills up because they auto back it up. And you just have unlimited amount of photo and video storage.
Nice. So what you're saying is all the nudie pics I've been sent, like they can just get backed up on the cloud and
Google's looking at it.
You have to choose to be able to do that, and you can choose what directories. But yeah, like it's almost everything I've ever taken with this is just gets auto backed up. Like, I mean, that is the nice thing about it being small. Like, I would like that camera on this phone, because it just would automatically back it up as soon as I got home on Wi-Fi. And then
I know iPhone does that too, though.
You got to remember, Jerry, I forgot about directories. I have an iPhone.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you'll have that soon. You will have that with iOS.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting another iPhone, man. They can.
Oh yeah,
unless it's in just a software update. Unless it's in a software update, then I'll never have it, because I'm not getting another iPhone. You know why? Because I want a headphone jack and I don't want 60 frame per second 4K camera.
I think the only other phone manufacturer that's gonna have a headphone jack is Samsung, and I hear that they're gonna do away with it. I don't think phones are gonna have headphone jacks anymore. I think you gotta just embrace it, man. You're gonna have to
embrace that dongle life.
You're gonna have to tape that dongle on, dude. Tape it. Tape that dongle on.
I honestly give it like 2 years before everyone starts like putting them back on because everyone's so pissed off.
No, they just have headphone manufacturers make USB-C headphones, and there's your problem. And then put them in the box.
So Samsung's cool. Now I can't even charge my fucking phone while I'm listening to it. Great.
Samsung's gonna get rid of the headphone jack to make room for batteries that explode.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. Firefox gets VR support finally, which is pretty cool. Google Chrome has had this for a while. All that porn. Yeah, Pornhub and RedTube.
So basically, you can just basically put on your VR headset and browse the internet. Is that what this is? All right, yeah.
I mean, what browsers do you guys use? Personally, I use Chrome.
I use Chrome.
I used to use Firefox until pretty much Twitch wouldn't work on it. It just wouldn't work. I tried everything I could. I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, did everything.
Fell off really hard about 5 years ago.
As soon as Chrome started.
The only thing I miss
dude, I think it's a lot better now, to be honest.
Is it's not as much of a memory whore as Chrome is.
It's really not. That's why I use it half of the time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Firefox has actually improved a lot since it was bad for a little while, but it's improved a lot. I use it half of the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Plus, there's some little hacks here and there with Firefox I know about to do things that I'm not going to talk about.
What was that? Grease Monkey was the only reason I would use Firefox, and then Google implemented it on there. I mean, just the implementation of Google in your web browser just sells Google Chrome for me, because I use Docs, I use Google Play Music, I use everything that Google has, and just having it all on the browser just so much easier for me. And Firefox, unfortunately, I don't know, it doesn't have that seamless integration. But they do have WebVR.
No, that's
why I mean, when are we all going back to Internet Explorer 7?
Never. See, that's the thing is, like, I also live that life. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm the other Google fanboy sitting here with a Pixel and a Chromebook next to me. And, you know what? Sometimes there's some things I don't want Google knowing everything. Yeah. And I don't even mean that in like a porn type way. It's just like there is like just kind of like, I don't want to fuck up my search results, Like if I'm going to school to do work or like going to work, I want my search results to show up exactly what I'm looking for at that time. So honestly, I keep a lot of mobile to Chrome, and then desktop, then gaming and shit's on Firefox.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like how Jerry said it's not even a porn thing.
That's exactly what that is. It's 100% a porn thing.
Like, honestly, man.
What are you hiding?
Well, no, it's like for here. It's like, okay, so I'm sitting at home now here to play video games. If I hit P, it's going to go instantly to PoE.trade. If I hit it on my Chromebook, it's instantly going to go to my web portal. It's just like really stupid little things like that.
Okay, I see.
Oh, it's
that's interesting to use two different browsers just because you don't want to press an extra letter.
Dude, I'm that lazy. All right, it works though.
That's so funny. All right, moving on. Here we go. Last tech news, and you want to talk about this? The Cougar case just came out on Hardware Canucks. I keep pressing the wrong thing. And this case, the only reason I want to talk about it because it looks fucking badass. And Jerry, what do you think of this case? It's an open style test bench. It's not a test bench, but it's an open style PC case.
I like it, but I hate it.
I think it looks fucking ugly, man.
Yeah, like there's some parts about it that are cool, but there's some things where it's just like.
But I mean, if it's more aerodynamic or it keeps your system cooler, I guess.
No, it won't.
It doesn't.
I didn't know they made Zoids. I didn't know they made Zoids as a case.
This is a case that looks pretty if that's your aesthetic look, and that's the entire point of these cases. No, they run hotter. Like you need a full water.
It aesthetically looks awful.
Yeah, it looks like fucking Bionicle is what it It looks like I saw this shit on Toonami when I was a kid.
Maybe I'm a purist, but like a good
it's
a nice square.
I mean,
just
hey,
give me
dude,
my good old tower. I don't need it to look like a friggin' furry.
I still want to get laid, okay? I don't want this thing in my
girl over. Hey, yo,
Your
check out
chances
my
of getting laid
my
with
sick
this
case.
badass case is at least 20%.
Dude, it
looks like this came from
gets the
Halo, like
girls
Bungie,
going.
like fucking developed this game.
It is
looks like a
really
ghost,
think it-
a
Bring
banshee.
over, you bring over your house, you know, bring over your mom's house. You're just like, hey, look, man, look at that case, and she's like, ooh, take me now.
Yeah.
I think the case
has
is
so
learning
many
a lot.
badass.
Learning a lot today.
I think it looks cool, but it's $300.
They
I
should
don't
just
get
put
it.
on the side, you
I
know,
like-
pussy magnet.
I don't think I would ever buy
Dude.
it for $300. But
No,
it looks
I'm gonna buy
fucking
it for
cool.
$300.
No. You can buy
sorry, it
an
doesn't
was
look
it
like
the
an amiibo.
NXZT case, like a nice one of those for cheaper.
Yeah, for like $40,
No.
and that's it. That's all you need.
I mean, okay, I think it would look better if the orange is okay. I wish you could change it.
Yeah,
The biggest thing is it's the logos. I hate things with logos.
Yeah.
yeah. I think
You would hate my tower because I kind of slap stickers from every company ever on it.
oh
Dude, I know. Dude, I'm all about clean. Like I agree
No,
with
yeah,
you
my
guys. A
next
clean box,
tower,
but
I'm
it's,
keeping clean.
I'm
Also,
like that for everything, dude. I hate
Jerry's-
wearing clothes
the
with
next
Jerry's-
tower I
logos.
get, I'm
Just
raising
fuck
off the
logos,
ground.
dude. Fuck logos
I'm not
on
putting a tower on the
everything.
carpet again.
Jerry's all about that cleanliness life. He has a box of Kleenexes by his Chromebook. Not his
That's the school
not
book,
his school
okay?
book.
yeah, not his school book, not the
Listen,
Firefox browser.
I mean, you got to keep tissues next to your computer. Come on.
Oh, doobie.
It's. By the way, I keep this for all the vape shit.
oh yeah.
Sure,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Listen, it's just
You
keep,
All right.
you know,
next to all my
you keep
building
this
stuff.
next to it too
Oh, God.
to go with the tissues.
Where's
Seagram's
where's the
and sleep
lube?
Seagram 7 and sleeping pills. That sounds like a good mix. But yeah, I think this thing looks fucking ugly. I mean, I think it's cool in the fact that it's like an open
You
system.
get the bigger bottle if you need it.
It's like an open system, so that's kind of cool. But I think it's just god awful ugly, man. Like
It's definitely
just-
an eclectic look for sure.
like if you like it, I mean that's cool. But I'm also that kind of dude that like I don't give a shit about RGB. I don't care about LEDs. I don't care about lights, flashing shit. I don't want any of that.
If they come with it, like I'm cool with it. If they don't, that's fine. Like the only thing I wanted for RGB was my mechanical keyboard. I just
No,
like
the
that
worst is
aesthetic.
when you get RGB, but it's only one color and you can't change
Yeah.
it. I
Well, that's-
hate
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
Don't,
that's
don't
just
even
fine.
put
My
the
bit
color in.
Phoenix, my bit Phoenix, that's always red. It's
No,
always
see,
red.
The cool thing about RGB is you actually get a lot of them, and then you just do it like I do. So your computer's at your desk height, and then you just turn everything to white, so you don't actually have to have lights on ever anymore. You're just powered by your computer.
Yo, saving
lights.
that electricity.
All right, let's get into these last two.
That's
deep
the only use for
topics. So I don't know if you guys seen this, but Angry Joe, this was on the 26th. This was a couple weeks ago, but he went onto his channel and he posted a video, pretty much berating his entire audience on YouTube. He tries to justify a lot of things. He said he was trying to set a schedule for himself and he wasn't able to keep up with it. And he said he wanted to keep he was going on a 2-month vacation. He made a video about that. It got heavily downvoted, and he started to add more of these like movie reviews and movie reaction videos, Game of Thrones videos on his channel to fill in the time between game reviews, because he kind of wants to break it up a little bit and just he wants to add more content to his channel, but he doesn't want to keep doing like just game reviews and only be a game review channel. Unfortunately, his audience disagrees. His audience only wants these kind of like, I mean, if you guys have ever seen his channel, he does a really wonderful job at his reviews. Probably one of the best on YouTube. It's the reason why he's up to 2.8 million subscribers. He goes really in depth. They're about half an hour long each. He gets costumes. He's pretty well articulate. He speaks well. He's got a buddy that helps him. He's pretty funny. And he's just a good YouTuber for what he does. And it's kind of a slower year for him, I guess. But he hasn't reviewed things like, I don't know. He hasn't reviewed a lot of games that came out this year. It's one of the best years of gaming. And I think his audience is kind of like, dude, what's going on? We have all these awesome games coming out. We want to see more reviews. And you're giving us Game of Thrones videos that we don't care about. They get terrible ratings. This video right now has 19,000 dislikes, but it's heavily liked, fortunately for him. But a lot of his like those reaction videos, they get downvoted to hell. And he made an entire, how long is this? 30-minute video talking about this situation. And I want to know what you guys think about this. So he's disabled. I want to know what you think. Do you think it was right for him to disable the comments and ratings on some of his videos, mainly his reaction videos? He doesn't allow you to post anything. You can't rate. You can't comment.
I'm torn between it because on one hand, like it's his channel. He can do whatever he wants with his channel. That's his decision. If he wants to get away from game reviews, do more movies, that's his prerogative. Who are we to tell him no? On the other hand, he's not exactly going about it a great way of handling the criticism from his audience. And there's a reason why his audience is there. They know what they want. But on the other hand, if they don't like the new content, they can leave. That's their choice to watch. They're not entitled to anything.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't owe them anything, and like Doobie said, if they don't like it, they can just not say anything. I don't know, because Total Biscuit actually did this. Like Total Biscuit, you can't comment and you can't like or dislike his videos, and it's been like that for like what, over a year now. I think
years.
Yeah, years.
No, yeah. Years. I mean, part of it is also the toxicity of the internet.
Well, I would say more the toxicity of the gaming community rather than the internet. Yeah. Gaming is rough.
Kind of go hand in hand.
And even more so the YouTube community.
Yeah,
oh, God,
the gaming YouTube
comments
community.
are not a YouTube comment section is not a place to have any rational thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I don't blame him for disable. For one, the rating system needs to go. It just needs to be like Reddit, where you can only upvote, and if you don't like the video, then don't upvote it. Right? The downvoting system only allows for brigading. If a lot of people want to brigade your channel, or you want to start fights, or for some reason they haven't done away with it. They talked about doing away with the dislike button. It's prone to hacks, just bots out there that can just dislike your channel. Like as soon as I upload a video, I get 4 or 5 dislikes because they're bots. They're bots that come on, they just I don't know how they do it. I don't know what kind of systems put in place, and that's the only reason that dislike button's there for. I don't remember one video that I saw. I was like, oh, wow, this video has 20,000 dislikes. I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, what if they put like the dislike and like function to subscribers only? I mean, that way,
well, the problem
at least you're getting subscribers.
The problem would be is the fake accounts and the fake. I mean, it's still, you can.
Oh, yeah. Bots are a huge part of almost every internet community, whether it be Reddit, Twitter, Instagram.
So I think just do away with the dislike button.
Twitch.
Just get rid of it. And
God, people pay for view bots. Like,
yeah, you just go about it with the like button, right? You just have just likes. If a video is not good, then it gets no likes. If a video is great, then it has more likes. There's no reason to have a dislike button. And I'm not sure why they ever implemented it. There was a lot of criticism with it. Now the comments on the other hand, I agree that there's a lot of toxicity on YouTube comments. It's kind of ridiculous. If you ever look at like a Vice video and you look at the comments, it's some of the worst comments on the internet. It's really bad. And when you have something like that, there's never any good exchange of thoughts. There's never any good discussion going on. Maybe like when a channel first starts to come out and it's just getting its legs and there's a small community, you can have that. But once a channel's up to like past 500,000, I mean, it's almost completely useless. No one looks at it. No content creator looks at it. I barely look at my comments, and I only have like 30,000 subscribers. And it's because it's just not a place where you get information.
No, it's basically a contest of who can come up with the cruelest, most wittiest comment.
Yeah.
As fast as they can, and everybody else just either that or just memes.
Dude, I remember the
memes.
Old days.
There's a lot of memes in YouTube.
The old days of like when dubstep was a thing, and you would go on YouTube comments, and it was just all of these
talking about the drop
jokes that were just awful. They were actually funny to read.
Yeah, but now it's been like 6 years of bass drop jokes in every comment section ever, and it's just old. No one looks at the comments. Meanwhile, you look at a video with like tons of dislikes and you go immediately to the comments to see what people are writing about it. So it's like, I don't disagree with him disabling his comments and ratings, especially since he thinks that there's a new kind of like a new subscriber base that has subscribed to his channel that are more entitled and they feel like that he owes them something, and he just wants to do away with them. So he said, I'm just going to get rid of comments and ratings, and hopefully that purges them out, and then we'll get back to the core community that I care about. He doesn't care if he loses subscribers because of it, and I think that's pretty noble. He's pretty honest about doing that, so I don't blame him there either.
Like I said, I don't blame him for doing it, but then again, I don't believe it's a smart move.
I got a question. Do you think that the community is right in their outrage over his channel, or do you think that he should kind of stick to his guns and he's justified in what he's done? It's not like he did part of the video where he shows like his gamer views haven't gone down. He just added more videos in between them of stuff that he likes. So do you think that he should stick to his guns, or do you think that the community is kind of right and that he should just only upload gaming reviews, and if he wants to do another channel, just start a different one?
Well, I honestly believe he's a grown-ass man and he can do whatever the fuck he wants to as long as it doesn't break terms of service. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah, like it's his business. He can put whatever he wants to on his channel. If he wants to like start just uploading videos of him like reviewing stuffed animals, he can. You know why? Because it's his fucking channel. He can put anything, literally anything he wants to on there as long as it does not break terms of service.
But do you agree with the comments in what they're saying about how they subscribe because they liked his game reviews, but now they're getting something different in his channel? Do you agree with what they're saying?
They can just watch his game reviews then and not watch his other videos.
It's not really that hard. Subscribe.
Completely agree. I completely agree. I don't understand why they're all up in arms about it.
They could just look at the video that released and it'd be like, Angry Joe reacts to new Spider-Man movie, and they can be like, well, that's not about a video game. I could just not click that fucking link and all of it will be solved.
There's plenty of channels I watch. Demographic of YouTube though.
I'll say there's plenty of channels I watch where I don't like that video. I'm not gonna watch that video. I'll just wait till the one I want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. I mean,
it makes sense to me. I'm trying to say it. What's the average age of the person who watches a lot of YouTube content?
I think it's like our age, like our age all the way down to like 12, right?
Yeah.
That whole area.
There is a huge demographic also of those 12-year-olds though. Like not even saying it's because they're 12. There is a lot of younger viewers on YouTube who do still also partake in memes, comments, and shit like that, where I think a lot of it too is like, you're not giving me what I want, you're gonna give me what I want.
I think our age demographic does generally, for games at least, gravitate a lot more towards Twitch than YouTube.
I disagree.
I don't think a lot of 12-year-olds are on Twitch compared to YouTube. Maybe
I still think Twitch is. I still think Twitch. It's pretty popular, but I still think Twitch is a far cry from YouTube. I mean, YouTube's user base is just massive, especially compared to Twitch.
I think that you guys are giving a little bit too much faith in people, just depending on their age.
Well, I agree with that too.
Because I guarantee you, there are just millions and millions of grown ass people that act like children when they have anonymity in front of them. When they have just like the anonymous wall, the anonymous face of the internet is in front of them, they will do anything they want to and not even care. You know why? Because they're sociopaths and they're jackasses.
The anonymity of the internet has allowed people to just truly show what humanity is like, and it's honestly pretty ugly.
Yeah,
I agree.
It is. When nobody will punish you for something that you're going to say, you'll say fucking anything if you want to.
Well, there was many times where I wanted to implement this kind of content on my other channel, DIY or Die, and I couldn't.
Yeah, I
couldn't do so without multiple people saying, "No, we only came here for DIY juice. That's all we want to see." It's just like, okay, well, one, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch those kind of videos. You could
I have to watch it.
I have to watch it. It's the reason why we made this channel.
Yeah,
this is the reason why we made this whole thing.
Yeah, and this is the second iteration of this channel because I had a previous gaming channel
Foggy
before.
Gamers.
And that one,
Foggy Gamers.
Yeah, so it's I completely understand kind of where he's coming from, but I also agree he's kind of going about it the wrong way. I think he should have just ignored the situation and just disabled comments and ratings if he wanted to purge out that community and just say, okay, fuck you guys, I'm gonna just disable this stuff forever, and you guys can never comment or rate my videos ever again. But if you don't, and then they won't watch the videos that they don't want to watch, and hopefully they unsubscribe if that's what he wants. And then then he can maybe turn them on one day if he feels that his community is back to where he wants it to be. I didn't know Total Biscuit disabled his comments.
Oh yeah, years ago.
Yeah,
I did not.
A long time. Sadly enough, I think it was actually about around the time that he was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when he started disabling his likes and dislikes and comments because people on the internet, like I said, are just really shitty people when they're judging other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can't be punished for what they're saying.
And for some reason, YouTubers have this notion that you have to enable ratings, you have to enable comments on your channel, otherwise you think your content sucks, or why are you doing that? And I completely disagree with that notion. Some people use YouTube differently for their channel. Some people just want a depository of their videos, and then they have a community like a forum or a group or something where they can engage, and that's just where their videos are. And if they turned it off, God forbid, the whole fucking world shuts down. So maybe he should just leave him off and, fuck the haters, Joe. I like Joe's channel. I like his reviews. I think he does a great job. He's a little fucking cringy at times, but whatever, Well, yeah. We all are. We all are.
It looks like Total Biscuit has likes and dislikes enabled, but all the comments are disabled.
Yeah, I checked that. I did not know that. It looks like he gets about half oh wait, maybe that was just that one video. Never mind. All right, well, moving on to our last topic, which is a pretty deep topic here. Now, this is
also about YouTube comments.
Yes, it's another YouTube comment video. So, okay, GameSpot released a video called Gone Home's Indie Rebellion. They do a lot of these kind of like documentary style videos, them and IGM, which I thoroughly enjoy. I like this kind of stuff in gaming. I like to see the behind the scenes. I like to see what the teams are doing. I like to see who the heads of the teams are. I like to see the creative, the creative kind of process that these awesome teams dive into, even if it's a small team, even if it's a small indie game like Gone Home. I want to know, like, how'd they come up with this? What's this industry like? I'm not in the industry. I'm not a game developer, so this is like a look inside. I love this kind of content. I always upvote. I'm gonna upvote one right now. I already did. I already upvoted this one. That's how much I like this kind of content. But it seems like a lot of the YouTubers in the comment section fucking hate these kind of videos, and especially ones where there's some level, like a very slight level of, I don't even know, how do I explain this? Like what kind of game is this?
It's a walking simulator.
It's a documentary about a walking simulator, but it has views of LGBT issues. It has views of like that's it. There's really nothing else in it.
It's an artistic. It's really
just an experience
game.
Yes,
and it's a game in the sense that you like play, but it's really just a novel. I mean, visual novels kind of do some of the same things. Where
I like this stuff. I like these kind of games. If you just want to hear a little story, a little bedtime story, a little night story, a little night story.
I play games a lot for the story. Like don't get me wrong, I love gameplay, but a great story can sell me on some iffy gameplay.
I need a good story in a lot of my games. If it's not a game like Path of Exile or Overwatch, I need a good story in the game if you want me to play it. Otherwise, I don't give a shit about the characters. I don't give a shit about what I'm doing. I think that a story-driven game that's complete story is fine. Like, I like the Walking Dead Telltale games. I think they're cool. They're even less than walking sims. You can't even fucking walk. Well, I guess you can. Can you walk in that game? Or is
Yeah,
it a
you
point and
walk and
click?
then sometimes you just click buttons to kill zombies
Yeah,
once in a while.
You sort of walk in that game. Anyways, this game talks about LGBT issues. You find out you're a lesbian in this game or something. I don't know the exact plot of this.
I thought it was
story
your
here.
sister is a lesbian, and she goes like, her and her lover like.
Oh,
like,
you find out
bounce.
about it. She like comes out in the game, and you find out through like these cassette tapes and through like little things in a story, and that's it. That's the game. It's a little art piece that this team put together. What else did this team put together? Some of them from BioShock.
I got it when it was free on PlayStation, the PSN. It was one of the free games a couple months ago.
Yeah, they're some of the guys from the BioShock series that came out and developed this game, and now they just developed the game that just got released, Tacoma, which I hear is okay. So, anyways, the point of this segment is how toxic is the gaming community? Because if you look into the comments, they're fucking atrocious.
Spoiler alert. Extremely toxic.
Yes. So the first comment has to deal with, I guess, just the gameplay, which is cool, right? Someone says Gone Home was a complete garbage game. Now, do they think it's a garbage game because of it has LGBT issues, or is it actually a garbage game? I don't know. I didn't play the game. Someone else says, yes, the Lesbian Simulator, such a classic.
Okay, so like, yeah, they're toxic, but I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when I saw. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's ridiculous, but I still laugh.
All right, and here's one of the top ones that kind of lead into the rest of the comments that you'll get, which is Gone Home is a pretentious, boring piece of dog shit that shoves blatant leftist propaganda down players' throats. And if you look at the theme of a lot of these negative comments, it's because this is a game that talks about LGBT in a very non-traditional way, in a very non-traditional game, and they don't like it. They want fucking Call of Duty, and they want, I don't know. They didn't like this game at all. And
we're gonna make Call of Duty. We're gonna make Call of Duty great again.
Yeah.
President Trump's gonna make Call of Duty great.
Like,
that was the kind of feeling of these comments. It felt like you're watching like the Young Turks and you're looking in their comments. There's a lot of like, fuck the left. Fuck these leftists, these liberals and their fucking gay video games. It's
dude, you
bad.
sound like Alex Jones.
Dude, when they announced Tracer was a lesbian, the entire gaming community lost their shit. Okay, like,
yeah.
I don't.
I'm gonna.
All right. Let me ask the question then. How toxic is the gaming community? Period. Not on YouTube, just the gaming community. How toxic would you say it is? Would you say it's not a place where ideas like this can come into play, or is it a place where they're very open and accepting of any ideas and any creativity? Because I think that they like to think that they are, but really, in fact, that they just want Call of Duty and the next Madden, and they just want to fucking shoot zombies, and they don't want to hear about any kind of politics. They don't want to hear about any kind of issues. They don't want any social commentary. They just want to live in a world because they're losers and they live in their mom's basement.
I mean,
they just want to escape that life.
Well, to be fair,
go ahead.
Okay, well, to be fair, I just went to the Steam page for Gone Home, and I'm reading the description of the game, and all it says is June 7th, 1995, at 1:15 a.m. You arrive home after a year abroad. You expect your family to greet you, but the house is empty. Something's not right. Where is everyone, and what happened here? Unravel the mystery for yourself in Gone Home, a story about exploration game from the Fulbright Company. But what I'm saying, I mean, I kind of understand if you were just buying this game blind and you didn't know what to expect, and then you just get hit with these, these topics or these issues. I kind of understand that, where somebody might be like, okay, well, I feel kind of cheated now. Right. Thought I was going to get a game and not I see. Just this kind of thing. But I also I don't understand why you would go onto a video and say some hateful shit about it. You know,
I know.
You know what I mean? It's not a terrible thing. They didn't the ending of the game wasn't and Hitler was right. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was just this time
in this age, not many people are going and buying games blind. They know something about the game, and this was a very publicized game. This is a game that a lot of people talked about for a long time. So if you bought this game, you kind of knew what you were getting into. You know, you knew it was a walking simulator. Maybe you didn't know that there was LGBT issues, but even if there was, like, you know, from what I hear, the story is actually interesting. It's actually an interesting kind of little story that they tell. It's by people who have done great work. BioShock is one of the biggest selling series in gaming. So I feel like there might be a lot of justifying going on from some of these people saying that this is a trash game, and they just don't want this kind of game around. They don't want to challenge their ideals in any bit.
It's
the real thing is that a lot of these people say, "Oh, beat the game in 2 minutes. Why don't you refund the shit then, and then just shut up?"
Yeah.
I think when we talk about toxicity,
my points. I gotta make my fucking points. You gotta listen to me, bud. All right. my point. My YouTube comment. It matters. It changes the world.
Okay, I'm about to make a bad joke. I think when we talk about, like, in general, the gaming community and how toxic it is, it does still go hand in hand with that anonymity of the internet. When no one knows who you really are. You're not going to have any consequences for what you really say. You rile people just to rile them up.
Yeah. I think that's part of it, but I think we've gotten past the point that I don't think there's a gaming community. There's gaming.
There's sub communities.
Yeah, there's multiple.
Dark Souls community, speedrunning community.
Yeah, there just isn't. It's too big. Too many people play video.
The FGC, the whole fighting game community.
Yes.
Yeah, and
you got any more communities, Doobie? You got any more communities, Doobie? You wanna?
There's tons of communities. Pokemon
Nintendo,
community,
Splatoon 2,
Hearthstone community. Hearthstone community is cancerous as fuck. League of Legends community,
the WoW community.
I kind of agree there, but I also the gaming community as a whole. I mean, I guess it is a little too big. I guess you can't really box it in. I guess you can't say that there's just this is what the gaming community thinks. I guess you're right.
I mean, because even in those comments, there's half of the people who played that game are hating it on these YouTube comments, and the other half of the people absolutely loved it and are defending it.
Yeah,
and that's like not the same community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all played the same game, but you can have different communities all do the same stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to like be too hard on the commenters here. Like I understand some you buy games to not really dive into some issues, and you just want to play a game. And maybe this game didn't do it very well. Maybe it did like shove kind of these ideas down your throat in a way that just felt very preachy. And I didn't play the game. I don't know what these people feel like about challenging their ideas like that. But I just kind of I just thought it was an interesting look, because we're gonna see like what was that one game that one developer released where it was like about depression or something. It was a woman, and there was some interesting narratives in that game, and it got
Life is Strange.
No, not Life is Strange. That one surprisingly is quite well received, and I think it's because maybe that they did it right. They went about it the right way, and they created a really interesting story. Maybe this one didn't do it as well. It wasn't that one. No, it was about like depression, and I'm not sure if it was a walking simulator.
I'm going to tell you though, if you want to talk about ham-fisted agendas, though, this is not one of those games. I would say they're trying to ham-fist their agenda down your throat. All right, so Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. Jerry started laughing, and so did Doobie. I think they know what I'm talking about. But when it came out on Steam, they re-released it on Steam, the Enhanced Edition, and they came out with an expansion pack for it, a DLC for it, that was just completely new. Like, they just made it. It's a fucking 2-decade-old game, and they just made new DLC for it. And they introduced like transgender characters and stuff like that were, I mean, it was all really ham-fisted. Like, the whole agenda was really ham-fisted. They really just the developers shoved their agenda down your throat. Or not really the developers, but the writer did.
The writer, yeah.
That was really ham-fisted. That was uncalled for. But a game like this, like, I mean, I understand, like, the whole point of this is of this game is emotion and story and just the experience. It's not meant to be, you know, it's not meant to be a game that you put 100 hours into. You just put, you know, the 2.5, 3 hours it takes to beat the game, and then that's it. What's up, Doobie?
No, it was my camera. I was wondering, my camera's like not focusing.
Oh. You were like waving.
No, I was like trying to get the focus. I was gonna say, I wonder how the community is gonna react when they do Final Fantasy VII remake and the whole cross-dressing scene.
Oh, Cloud
dude,
I want that to be
in like high def.
Dude,
like,
I want that to be in high def, dude.
They can't get rid of that. It's an iconic part of the game. They cannot get rid of that without fan backlash.
I'm so excited, dude.
You know,
cross-dressing Cloud.
You know that they're gonna fucking outrage over it. You know that they're.
I hope they don't, because if they do, then they're hypocrites. Because that is a big part of the first game.
Yeah,
they are hypocrites. Of course, they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
They are.
Is this just a lose-lose situation? They cut it. The hardcore fans.
All right,
this is bullshit. You got rid of my cross-dressing.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's not just one community anymore. That's what I don't get. It's the same thing with the YouTube stuff that we were talking about earlier. I don't give a shit what Angry Joe does. I also don't watch his videos. I think they're pretty good, but he's not what I want to watch. That's how the entire thing is now. And it's this weird interaction that some people have in between. I think the communities also, that it's just like,
my opinions,
you know,
my opinions.
It's like, this isn't my type of game. So, but I'm in this community where I have to let everyone know how I feel. They're going to do that regardless of what it is.
But let me
just things like that. I don't know.
Let me move on.
Twitch. I was gonna say real quick. You look at Twitch, and I mean, I watch a lot of channels, and you know, there are points where they change what they're doing. They go from speedrunning to variety streamer, and you'll still get people that come in chat who haven't like watched in like maybe a year, and they're just like, "Man, why did you quit speedrunning?" They wanted to do something different. Like they're entitled to that.
God forbid, right? Now,
I want to play games.
One last question to the panel here. Should games make political statements? Should they make any kind of social commentary in their games?
Yeah.
It's just like any other art form. It's any other way of expressing yourself. If politics are a big thing in your life and you want to express your opinions through an art medium, which is gaming, it's another form of art, you're more than welcome to. If other people want to play that, that's up to them. That's their choice as a consumer.
Thank you. That's my entire point. It's you can do it, and that's why I don't get why there's so much hate with a lot of them. You have the fucking choice to play this game or not. If you don't want to, don't fucking play it.
It's a free market. You can do what you want to do. You can sell what you want to sell, and you can buy what you want to buy.
Just think, like, if people, well, I mean, they did. I was going to say if people got outraged, but they did. When people wrote novels and books back, like way back, and, you know, nobody had video games, if people were like, hey, you know, why don't you just write fiction or nonfiction and not put any social commentary, nothing relating to the real world? It's kind of like if Virgil wrote Dante's Inferno and it had nothing to do with the time period or public figures or, you know, social commentary in the book, which if you've read the book, I don't know if you guys have.
Go back.
It's literally that's all it is. It's social commentary. The whole fucking book is just social commentary.
Go back and tell George Orwell. Yeah, don't you know, we like 1984, but take all of that, like, you know, political stuff. Just take that out of it. Be a better book. You know, can sell better.
Well, the reason I say, gaming's a bit different because in gaming you need a lot of money and you need to make that money back. With books, you know, there's not a lot of overhead there. It's kind of just one person, their idea. So with gaming, they need to make money.
Now maybe.
You see a lot of Kickstarters and a lot of your indie games or your more political, artsy games. You're not seeing those types of things from AAA games like Call of Duty.
Right.
I think that's
except where you walk through an airport and mow everybody down.
There's still a fuck ton of overhead with a book, and it's all time.
Yeah.
If you actually want to write a book, you can write a book for years. You're not going to get that back.
Not only that, but I mean, I guess that's more of a modern point you could put, like with all the self-publishing opportunities everybody has. Like you can write your own book and put that shit up on like as an ebook on the Kindle store if you want to.
And you can also do that on Steam too.
Yeah, and you can do it that way, but like back in the day, you couldn't do that. You had to send it out to publishers, and they had to fund your book, and they had to do marketing campaigns for your book. But I think that if all of video games would avoid social social aspects and social commentary and political statements and stuff like that, I think we would be worse off. I think it would be a very boring landscape of video games.
Filled with like sports games, racing games. It wouldn't be filled with any.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Last question. Do you think that right now, because the internet, well, social media in general is kind of still new in a sense, do you think that this is maybe just a phase of people, and that over time, you know, we'll get to a point where, you know, someone can release something like this and they don't have to worry about a strew of just fucking trolling? Because it's not like these people aren't trying to like criticize the game. They're not trying to tell what can make this game better. They're not trying to help these developers out. It's just like they're just trolling essentially. And you get that in any type of politics on either side, you know, both on the left and the right, with any kind of content. And I don't like just straight up like a political narrative, just someone like, here's my politics, here's my ideas. I like it in stuff like this, in video games and in movies and in books and stuff like that, where they kind of lace their ideas and stuff into their art form. And I want them to like keep pushing the boundaries and keep creating stuff like this because it's fun for me. I enjoy this type of content. And I think maybe just now, especially with Trump in office and just this whole like trolling agenda has just gone out of control. And I think people are going to get sick of it, and it'll just swing the other way. You know, I really do hope so, at least.
I mean, trolling is nothing new. I mean, it's gotten a lot of attention lately, but I mean, I still think we're too. The social media aspect, all that stuff, I think it's still too new to know where the future lies, and especially with, God, I hate saying this, but a younger generation that is so absorbed with themselves and absorbed with social media, where a lot of the times it's not to share anything with your friends, but it's to gain attention for yourself.
Well, I think the younger generation is more accepting of kind of wilder ideas. I think it's kind of like the older.
On the other hand, they're also very, I hate doing it, they're very like, everyone's a special snowflake. And yes, they're open to more ideas, but they're also
easily outraged.
They can be easily outraged against things that they don't agree with without having a real conversation about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I got a point, but I'm waiting for my alarm.
There it is. There's that. It wouldn't be a No Life podcast without some kind of fucking alarm.
And ladies and gentlemen, our special guest, Andrew's alarm clock. Thank you for chiming in. We love you.
All right, yeah, it lets me know about what time it is and how long we've been going.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Yeah, I got two things real quick. First thing, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I said Virgil wrote Dante's Inferno, but Dante Alighieri wrote Dante's Inferno. That's why it's called Dante's Inferno. Virgil is the poet in the book. Anyway, second point. I think that when the whole social justice movement or political correctness movement, when it dies down, I think we'll see this shit die down, to be honest with you. I think it's just like blatant, like obvious forefront, just conflict with each other. Like you have one that's really strong, so you're going to have other people that have really strong opinions just trying to clash at it. And I think that when, like I said, when the whole political correctness and social justice, I think when it dies down a little bit and it's not so blatantly in the forefront of almost every form of media that we have now, I think when that dies down, the trolls will die down because nobody will be feeding them anymore.
I actually 100% agree with you. I think it's because there's this huge outrage kind of machine, the outrage, the triggered left, as they would say, and then you have the fucking I don't know what's the name for them. Triggered right, I guess.
4chan.
The triggered left and the triggered right, I guess. It's because it's on both extremes. That's why. Because I think you're right. I think people are gonna get sick of seeing it, and I'm getting sick of seeing it already. I'm sick of hearing about Trump and people outraged at what he says,
dude.
And I'm sick of the other side being outraged at whatever the fucking left does. I'm just so tired of seeing it. It's resorted into a YouTube comment section, but in life, and I'm sure many people will feel the same.
The comedians are getting like tired of it. I think I hate that it's over. I was a big At Midnight fan. I really like Chris Hardwick. I'm a huge Nerdist fan. Even he said it at the end of like at Midnight's run. He's like, I finally don't have to talk about Trump every night. He's like so happy because it's wearing thin. The joke's getting old.
Yeah, it got old pretty quickly. All right, that was a good show, guys. I know we tried to keep it in an hour.
Bullshit.
That was worth it.
But we went a little over time there a little bit. But no, we just like doing the show, man. So
I think that was what, like 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that.
We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. So, all right, guys, thank you for listening to the No Life Gaming Podcast every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night. I'm sorry about the last couple of nights. The auto uploading just didn't auto upload. I think I just set the dates wrong. But don't worry, you'll have it Tuesday, today, the time you're listening it right now, in the future, which might be the past by the time you hear this. Anyways, peace out.
Can I get back to Path of Exile now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Everyone love each other, I guess.
All right, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
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 I'm already starting Path of Exile up. So.